Sorry for the bounciness. Time to grab a rug. Checks. Hey, let's go check this out. Hey guys, Nutnfancy coming to you from a deployed location. Maybe you saw some other videos of BuggetNuster and I. Where do we say we are?
I don't think we do. I think we just leave it.
We're just going to leave it. We're not going to say where we are. Anyways, this is going to be a March 2009 SitRep is what I'm going to call it for the Nutnfancy project. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to cover just a couple issues that are kind of weighing over the TNP now and kind of give you an insight at where we're going from here. First off, we are deployed, and in a deployed location, it's really hard for us to get internet. It's very iffy at times. That's why you may or may not see videos, new ones coming at you. It's tough. True or false?
Totally.
Yeah, that's Bugget behind the camera now. So bear with us. I mean, when we're deployed with our military job like we are now, we're lucky we get anything done online. It's just tough. Also, we are constrained by a lot of security considerations. I can't really show you a lot of places like where we are, what we're doing, our jobs. Just not allowed to. You know, it's security requirements that we have to adhere to in our military jobs. I'd love to give you specifics on what exactly we're doing here, but I'm reluctant to do so, to be honest with you. One reason is if I tell you what my specialty is or what Bugget does for a job, next thing you know my military unit, and if you know my military unit, then you know some haters out there can find out you know, where I live and then maybe threaten my family. So sorry to get weird on you, but I'm not for that. That's why I pretty much stay anonymous. Moreover, I don't want that to be a distraction to the project. In other words, I don't want what I do for a living in my military job to be an overriding concern for the Nutnfancy project. And I think it will lead to a lot more emails and questions of, hey dude, you know, how do I get into that? Stuff like that. Maybe later, just not right now. You can't go overseas without hearing a moped, you know that?
Two-stroke motors, that's all you hear. Two-stroke motors and car horns.
Hey, why are we filming here? This is a weird place to film, right? Well, one reason is this is where we can film. I mean, we are constrained on base by photography restrictions.
We can't even have a camera out on base.
No, and plus, we dig mopeds. They're cool. Here comes one now. We gotta film this. Look at this dude, man. Navigating the railroad yard. All right, let me get going here. All right, guys, we kid around in the net. That's fire. That's freaking perfect. I think I'm just going to leave all that in, don't you think?
Leave it.
I'm leaving all this.
Right through the middle of your shot.
Dude, there's some issues we're going to cover here. Getting a little more serious. By the way, not too serious. We're always going to have fun in the Nutnfancy project. If you guys don't know that by now, you haven't been watching our videos, especially when Bugget comes along. We're just going to joke around, be ourselves. That's just what we're going to do. In doing so, we're going to be genuine. We're not trying to be something we're not. We're not trying to be cooler than we are. We're not trying to put forth an image to sell to the world. We don't give a crap about that. Agreed?
That's right.
Don't care. You know, here, come out here so they know it's not a recorded voice. Yeah, so we don't care. You're going to get what you get with the Nutnfancy project, especially when I roll my buddies like Bugget. Come on in, dude. Into the frame. I mean, we are who we are. That's just the way it is. He doesn't want to be in front of the camera all the time, no. So at least you know he's really here. And like I posted an Alan Keyes video on my page. Some guys are saying, oh, you know, don't go political on us, Nutnfancy. The air I breathe as a tactical gear reviewer is political. Knives, guns, those things are targeted and have been targeted by the politically correct and the liberal side of the house for years. And that's continuing to go on. I'll make a separate video about some gun control issues which concern me and Bugget and my buddies. I'll talk to them. I make no apologies for that. Nice word. I make no apologies for that either. I mean, if I go political, I go political. What I try to steer the Nutnfancy project by is my own personal integrity. Things that matter to me, and that is personal freedom, personal responsibility, protecting those freedoms. Whether you're talking about you want to own such and such gun, you want to own a knife, these are all things that are under attack and will be more and more as time goes by in the United States. So if I speak to that and throw up a video, which I feel is important and helps accomplish my goals for Nutnfancy project, no apologies, sorry. Hey, if you don't dig it, I understand that. I respect your right to differ from that opinion. And maybe Nutnfancy is not a home for you. You know, there's lots of other, I don't know, projects out there that will probably fall in line more with your political beliefs, whatever they are. But at the Nutnfancy project, dude, we're about freedom. We're about owning those things without restrictions. And no, guns and knives do not a bad person make. I will never buy off on that politically correct and foolish argument. Never. So yeah, we're on the precipice of freedom, like I wrote on my channel page. And at the Nutnfancy project, I'm going to do my absolute best to prevent us from going over the edge. And I like to do that politically by the word and by the little world that we have here in the Nutnfancy project. BuggetNuster and I were talking earlier too, and it is a really little world that we have here in the Nutnfancy project.
It is, and you know, you can tell with this new administration, you just never know where things are going to go. And the time for being the silent majority, those days have passed. You need to come out and say what you believe in, and don't be afraid to say it.
Time to man up. And a lot of people do comprise that silent majority. In other words, they do believe in gun rights and knife rights, your ability to own those things without any encumbrances. Really, we don't need any. There's thousands of laws on the books right now that do not serve to make us any safer. I don't want to get off on that tangent, but the point of the silent majority, well taken. I mean, you need to speak out, and that's what we'll do in the little world called Nutnfancy project. And it is little in the big scheme of things. And yet, and this will get into another topic for the SitRep, and that is when I get comments on my page on a certain video from dissenters. In other words, someone who does not agree with the point of view of the video, whether, I'm not even going to say what it is. They took issue with something I said in the video. Maybe it's a gear observation I made. Maybe it's a political statement I made. Don't know, don't care. The way I look at dissenters at the Nutnfancy project is I wouldn't say they're welcomed, because I would be lying. Okay? I will say they're tolerated. If you come and you put a dissenting opinion on my page, and if you're insulting, as long as it's done respectfully, and maybe that's contradictory to the word insulting, but if you have a differing opinion and you post it, I will let that ride. You know, there's thousands of examples where I've done just that. I'm not going to delete it. I'm not going to block the user. That's your opinion. The line is crossed when someone decides to grandstand on the comments page. And I'll repeat that since Muffler Guy was just passing. If they're grandstanding on the comments page, and by that I mean they are repeatedly getting a lot of thumbs down from my loyal TMP subscribers, indicating to you, Mr. Dissenter, you're pretty much not welcome on the page. Take a hint, go elsewhere. But if they persist and they're really trying to drive an agenda, I don't dig that. In fact, I hate it. Don't do that on my page. We have a little world we call the Nutnfancy project here. Okay, it's a sliver of existence. There's not much. I mean, yeah, we think we're a lot, but we're not. We're a very small minority in the big scheme of things. And there are tons and tons of media outlets where these individuals can express their opinions. Liberal is specifically what I'm talking about. And they'll be welcome. They'll be treated like a hero.
Absolutely.
You know, but don't come to Nutnfancy project and push your liberal agenda over and over again on the page. It's not welcomed and you'll be blocked.
It's all over the mainstream media. It's all over the newspapers. There's very few places that you can go to express conservative views.
Thank you. Nutnfancy is not a place for you guys to do that. And again, I'm not talking about a single comment. We'll put up with that. But I'm talking about grandstanding, continuing to push an issue. One guy was talking about how single-shot weapons were the end-all way, that should be plenty of firepower to defend you and your loved ones with, that we should have restrictions on multi-shot weapons, magazine feeding devices. And you know what? It doesn't fly at Nutnfancy. I don't like it. You're foolish if you think that's what I believe in. You may have differing views, but there are plenty other places for you to go to post that kind of thing. So again, If that happens, and I'll tell you, I don't really do the blocking. What I do is I look at the thumbs down comments by you, my loyal TNP subscribers, and if I see a lot of thumbs down comments on an individual, the guy's kind of skating on thin ice. If there's multiple comments from that individual, they're all thumbs down, and I'm talking like 5 or more, really thin ice. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to get blocked. That's because my subscribers are telling me, we don't like what this guy's saying. And I know a lot of the names, hundreds of names out there that I know and respect at Nutnfancy. And so when I see a comment from that person, and then I see, talking about this individual who's posting, the dissenter, if you will, and then lots of thumbs down, it's not good, and it makes the project unfun. You guys know I don't like the argumentation beneath the video. I don't like it. That's what the forums are. That's why the forums are pretty much a waste of time, because that's all it is. It's these byways and highways of argumentation and personal conflict. Hate it. Don't bring it to TNP. Enough said on that. I will speak my mind. I'm going to do my best to exercise my integrity. So will BuggetNuster in our videos. Okay, maybe not BuggetNuster. Just kidding. We both will. That's the rudder. A ship needs a rudder. The Nutnfancy project needs integrity. When I talk about a knife, when I talk about a gun, when I talk about any piece of gear, outdoor gear, I will promise you I'll give you the absolute best, straight up opinion I can, and that's part of the integrity. Also, it goes to the political side. Someone said, oh, you say you're professional, but if you're professional, you don't get political. What? Quite the opposite. If I'm professional, then I will be true to my integrity, and part of my integrity demands that I stand up and be counted on these important issues. Doesn't mean I'm going to make video after video talking about them, but I will mention them in my reviews. I will make SitRep videos like I'm doing now, and I don't make any apologies for it, because my integrity demands activism in these issues, and that's what you'll see from the Nutnfancy project. Also, you got to know that's going to come at a kind of a cost to me, and it's kind of happened, or if it hasn't already, it will happen. Is if you didn't know, Discovery Channel did contact me, and don't know if it'll pan out. They were looking at me. That's a loud bus. They were looking at me, I don't know, for a hosting job maybe. I will tell you I'm politically incorrect. I say a lot of things that are very non-PC, whether it's guns, whether it's knives, and my gut feeling is that will sink me for any legitimate hosting job in mainstream media. So, that being said,
and you're ugly.
I'm ugly, and you guys know that. But, oh well, that's the way it's going to go. If they were smart, and I'm talking to you, Discovery Channel, or whoever else, you would post a Nutnfancy project as is, right, Bucket?
There you have it.
With the conservative views, the way they come out, and the gear reviews, the way they come out, with no corporate association. There's no program like that, nor will you ever see a program like that on mainstream media. I could be wrong. I hope I am, because the market begs for that. That's my niche. I'm filling it now on YouTube, maybe my website later. So there you have it. Don't expect to see me on a mainstream television show soon, because I have opinions.
The problem is the market begs for it, but the advertisers don't.
Good point. Yeah, they're probably not comfortable with it.
Nope,
it's not PC. You kind of got to go with the flow. Along with the comments, by the way, I did want to mention, sometimes my responses may be discontinuous. In other words, I may respond one time, and then maybe some more discussion happens. You're like, where's Nutnfancy in this discussion? Dudes, I'm maxed. Right now, Bugget and I are pretty much tapped out with our military obligations right now. True or false?
You're absolutely right.
It's amazing we find time for this, and I'm doing my absolute best getting to the channel page, updating that, approving comments, and more importantly, video production. I haven't gone into video production today. If I did, it would be a 10-hour affair. Even this is going to have to be, put together, edited, uploaded. You know the score. So sometimes I'm not able to get back to those comments as much as I want, and I apologize. But I'll always be trying to get better, and I'm always trying to get better at answering your emails too. So that's it, man. What else? WROL vids. Guys are saying, when are you going to do the WROL vids? That stands for without rule of law. You will see those. Trust me. You're going to see them coming from the Nutnfancy project. They're big, though. I have to be careful how I word the things I'm going to say in my raw vids. Also, when I talk to you guys, I'm not talking to you as a military officer, which I am. You know, I'm an 05, but I do not talk to you as a lieutenant colonel. I can't. I cannot talk for my branch of service. It's a completely, I come to you as a citizen, and so does Bugget. We do not represent our branches, and we just don't. Nor do I represent any other employer at all. You guys know that. However, when the WROL vids come out, you know, there's going to be a lot of controversy. You think you've seen controversy now? Wait till you see my WRL vids, because I'm going to lay it on the line as best I can and as honestly as I can about what I foresee as being some considerations for you when rule of law is lost in your preparation. More importantly, in considerations for your fellow man, that we do not sweep kindness under the table. In fact, it'll be your opportunity to serve your fellow man when it's really needed. I'll talk to that as best I can. Doesn't mean it'll be perfect. So that's your shit. And also knife and gun reviews whenever I can. And you'll see a few of those coming to you if I can get a decent internet connection out here. But it's tough. That's it.
See what I mean about the horns?
Horns, moped, pollution. It's all part of the game out here, man. But we can film out here. There's no one else hassling us. The locals think we're making a movie. We're making like a Hollywood movie. That's it, dudes. Nutnfancy, BuggetNuster.
Here we are.
Come out here and give a salute. See it.